take her down. We should be right over Vandermeer's farm.
No! How could they? They do this to me! What is going on here? Stop surrendering and listen to me! Now I'll never rule the world. I hate this job. No, no, no! I am sick of you. No! G.I. Joe was ready for us. How dare they anticipate my strategy? You have won this time, but Cobra will survive to defeat you. Remember my words.
You action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a new TNI news video, a Monday edition. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on one story, one major breaking story, which is the announcement this morning of this year's G.I. Joe classified HasLab campaign. So we knew it was coming. Hasbro told us last week that they were doing a live stream announcing it. We kind of knew what it was going to be. I think most of us that were following the clues had pretty much figured it was going to be the Dragonfly, which is in fact what it turned out to be, the Dragonfly XH-1, a classified version that will be coming with a Wild Bill figure. Now, as I am filming this, 2 hours in, the campaign launched at 11 a.m. this morning Eastern Time, and it is now 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And 2 hours in, the campaign is already over 50% to its minimum funding goal, which is 10,000 backers. So as I'm filming this, it is sitting at 5,022 backers. So I don't think that it's going to be an issue about this getting funded. And in fact, it is also has 3 stretch goals, which I think it will have very little problem getting to, and I'll get into those stretch goals in a moment. But unlike some of the more recent HasLab campaigns, this one I feel like is 100%. I won't say 100% because nothing's 100% until it actually happens, but like 99.9% that it is going to be reaching its minimum funding goal of 10,000 backers. And as I said, it's already over halfway there, just 2 hours into the campaign. So let's go over the basic details for this thing. So first of all, the price, which I think is a huge selling point on this because it is actually cheaper than last year's His Tank. Last year's His Tank cost $300. This year we are getting the Dragonfly for $274.99. So definitely cheaper, not more expensive. I was actually thinking it might just because how, prices have gone up since last year, that it might actually be a little more expensive than the His Tank, but in fact it is cheaper. So you do get one action figure included, one classified 6-inch action figure included right off the bat, which of course is the Dragonfly's pilot, Wild Bill. That will be included, again, if it reaches 10,000 backers. The date the campaign ends is July 17th. So even though I don't think, there's going to be, it'll be funded well before then, that is when the campaign will end, is July 17th. Now, as far as what else is included with the Dragonfly, so you get a flight stand for the Dragonfly, though I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be hanging this from their ceiling since it is so big. But you do get a flight stand, which if you got the HasLab Sky Striker for the 3 3/4 inch line that they did 2 years ago, their first G.I. Joe HasLab, I think the flight stand is going to work very similar to that, where you can kind of put it in like 2 different positions, like pointing up or pointing down type position. So that's what they pretty much said in the live stream that they held today. And it is sturdy, and so is the Sky Striker one, which you can see behind me. So you don't have to worry about it falling off the stand if that's the way you decide to display the Dragonfly. Now, besides that, you get the weapons. If you're familiar with the original toy, it came with a number of missiles. It came with a large side gun. It had the front guns, and all of that is included with this one. So, and besides the front gun, you also get 2 side guns. I want to say on the original toy there was 1 side gun that was sculpted. This one you can actually kind of pull in and out, so it has some movement to it. You get blast effects for the weapon. So a lot of times with these campaigns they end up making like blast effects a stretch goal or something. But on this one, the blast effects for the various missiles and guns and stuff will be included right off the bat, which is nice. You do get some electronic lights on this one. So the inside canopy for both, it's a 2-seater canopy. The seats have seat belts. And then the displays will light up on this one. So they gave us a look at that. You also get some lights on the front. You get a spotlight that's underneath towards the front, and then you also get 2 like headlights for it as well, which is pretty cool. The rotor, it does move. It does not have the feature of the original toy. It does not appear to have the feature where it had the button on the side that you could push to make the rotors move automatically. So you weren't like constantly hitting it to make it move. So on this one, while the rotors do move, you will have to manually push them to get them to rotate around. And in the video that they gave us, the live stream, it looked like it had pretty good movement there with the rotors. You've got some removable side plates, 2 on each, or 1 on each side down towards the front. So it kind of shows you the inner workings of the side guns. And then the engine block, the panels on the engines up there by the rotor is, you can open those up as well, which is something I believe, if I remember correctly, you could do on the original toy. The back wings also have some movement. So on the original toy, those were static. So you can have them pushed in closer together, or you can have them spread apart wider in the back. And then also there's a piece in the back that's removable, which I'm not sure really adds a whole lot there, but technically it is removable. You get the canopy opens just like the original toy, where you can just kind of pull it open, pop it up and put your figures in and out. Or you can actually, there are side panels on the canopy that you can open, so you can have them kind of exit from the sides of the canopy. So, because if your propeller is spinning, you don't want to open your canopy straight up into the propellers. I always laughed in the original G.I. Joe cartoon when people would parachute, eject out of the helicopters like it was a jet, and like they didn't somehow go flying into the propeller blades and get smash or cut up into 1,000 pieces. I always thought that was pretty funny. But here, no parachutes. That's only included with the Sky Striker, but no parachutes. But you can have your figures exit on the sides of the canopy with those extra flaps that they've included. So that's cool. You've got various weapons. Again, you've got missiles, bombs. You've got I forget what they call the. They look those are little missile. I forget the official name. They even mentioned it in the video, but you've got those, which is something you didn't have on the original toy. That's kind of a new addition. And all those bombs and everything, they again, if you're familiar with the Sky Striker, they call it a T-bone. They basically hook in the missiles and stuff, hook in very similar to what we saw with, like you see with the Sky Striker. So I don't think you'll have to worry about those falling off or anything like that. Now, as far as the measurements go on this thing, it is quite big. So the height of it is 11.33 inches. The width of it is 34.9 inches. And then the depth of it is 13.77 inches. And they mentioned in the live stream that the tail end of the helicopter is about as long as the HISS tank is. So, from that, it sounds like the Dragonfly is going to be almost twice as long as the HISS tank was, which of course we haven't gotten that in hand yet. We won't get that in hand until around fall or winter of this year, but expect it to be much longer, lengthwise. It is going to be bigger than the HISS tank, so definitely pretty cool. Again, though, it is definitely going to make it hard to find someplace on a shelf to actually display this thing. So they didn't mention anything about like giving you hooks or anything where you can actually hang it from your ceiling, but I'm sure, you know, you can get some wire and figure out a way to do that if that's what you want to do. Oh, and speaking of wires and stuff, this does have a functioning hoist with a hook, so you can like have your, you know, Dragonfly come and lift your figures out of danger, just like on the original toy. So that's something where you can roll the rope up and then you can pull it down. So again, something that was on the original toy, though on this one it's off to the side. It is a piece that is removable, like the missiles and stuff, whereas on the original toy it was just on the bottom of the helicopter, and you just essentially pulled it out from inside the bottom of the helicopter. So if you want the hoist, you can have it attached. If not, you can put weapons there instead. Now as for the figure, again, it is going to include Wild Bill. And based on the prototype they showed in the live stream, along with the digital renders, it looks very nice. Now, the colors are based on the original toy, not the cartoon. He had a blue and yellow outfit in the cartoon for some reason, whereas the toy and comics and stuff, it was green and brown. So they've definitely based the color scheme of the Wild Bill on the toy and such, though his hat is blue, so he does have the blue hat. You get glasses, which are removable on him. You get his 6-gun shooters, 2 of them, and holsters to hold them. You know, a 2-holster piece. And then also he's got a vest, which they said was not removable, but if you wanted to take it off, I think they mentioned, you know, you could get it off if you wanted to. He also has a knife with a sheath, so you can put that on him. But definitely overall he looks very good. Oh, and then he also has 2 different hair pieces. So he has the hair piece with the hat attached to it, if you want him with the hatted look, or if you want him without his hat, you've got just a toupee type hair piece, so you can have him without the hat as well. So the hat, if you take the hat off, it will have the hair side pieces attached to it, but yeah, there is a way where you can have him without the hat or with the hat, which is nice. And then, as I said, Wild Bill will be included automatically if or when it reaches 10,000, which, you know, probably be in the next few hours. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised by the time you guys are watching this video, the thing has already reached its minimum 10,000 backer goal. Now, they said there was going to be 3 stretch goals. The first stretch goal will come if it reaches 13,000 backers by the July 17th date. There are no early bird incentives or anything like that on this campaign, which I think is good. I think those early bird campaigns have as much a negative effect on them than positive. So I'm glad they did away with the early bird stuff. But if it reaches 13,000 backers by July 17th, then you will get a ripcord figure, a Night Force, or essentially stealth all black ripcord. So not his traditional camo pattern look, but you will get ripcord if it reaches 13,000, which again, I don't think there's much question that it will. It's more about when it will reach 13,000. And then there's 2 other stretch goals, which they didn't tell us what they are. I'm assuming they're action figures based on these little teasers that they released. Though I won't swear that they're both action figures. But the second stretch goal will come if the campaign reaches 16,000 backers by July 17th. And then the third stretch goal will come if it reaches 19,000. And I'm going to just say it now. My prediction is this will be fully funded with all stretch goals by the end of the week. So I think it'll reach the 10,000 today in its first day, and I think you know, the stretch goals probably will come within the next few days, but definitely by the end of the week, I think this thing will be fully funded, which I believe is the way the His Tank went as well. The His Tank definitely reached its minimum goal last year in the first day, and then I think it was like within the first week, it had unlocked all the stretch goals. So we'll see if the Dragonfly does as well, but my guess is it will. So those are your stretch goals, and whether they end up adding anything additional, you know, because it ends up being so successful or not, you know, we'll just have to see. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So we'll just have to see. But it's 3 stretch goals. The first one being the ripcord figure, the Night Force stealth ripcord figure, and then we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully not wait that long, because, you know, once it gets to 13, then they'll likely go on and announce the next stretch goal. So hopefully, you know, maybe even as soon as tomorrow we could get to 13,000 and find out what the next stretch goal is after that. But first stretch goal we know is ripcord, and then 2 additional stretch goals to come after that. Okay, so that pretty much entails everything. I'm pretty happy with this one. I am definitely backing it. Again, my biggest hang up is just where the hell am I going to put it? But I've got, this probably won't see release until next fall, winter. So, 2024. So, of course, I still have not figured out where I'm going to put my his tank. So I guess I got to work on that first. But likely with the Dragonfly, I will end up hanging it up from a ceiling, and we'll have to I'll have to figure out where that will be. But I'm happy with it. I'm definitely backing it. If I had room for it, I might even get more than one, but I don't. So I'm only going to get one. I felt like the Dragonfly was their best option because I felt like they needed to go with a mid-sized vehicle, not a small vehicle like a Vamp or like a Skyhawk or something like that, but not like one of the bigger vehicles, which I'd be interested in seeing, like a Whale. And then there's always somebody who says we need to get a classified version of the flag, which, that I don't think was ever going to happen. But, Whale or Sky Striker, I would love to see those in classified, but I feel like those are big enough that those are going to make the price, very hefty, especially with the economy as it is. I feel like going with a mid-sized vehicle like this that actually ended up being cheaper than like last year's was a very smart move on the G.I. Joe brand team's part to do that. So, I'm not saying I wouldn't love to see it like a Whale or something like that, or even like, I saw people throwing out names like Snowcats and Havocs and stuff. Though, honestly, I'd rather, see like a Whale or Sky Striker before I saw like a Havoc or even like a Snowcat. I always liked the Snowcat, but I feel like with an Arctic vehicle like that, it limits you to the figures that you might want to display with it and stuff. So, I feel like going with your regular vehicles is probably better than going to something that's, like a water vehicle. Or, well, I would love to see a Whale, but of course a Whale is technically land and sea, so you could do it both ways with that. But I think with the Dragonfly, it was a perfect choice for the first Joe vehicle, and happy to see it, and definitely have no problems backing this. And so those are my thoughts on the Dragonfly. Of course, I'd love to hear your own thoughts down in the comments section below. Like this video if you're so inclined. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing. I've set a new lofty goal for myself. I'd like to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you want to help me out in that regard, please hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.